Aloha nui kako. In this Vikio Pokole, we're going to be taking a look at this term, ʻāina. So ʻāina might be maybe one of the most well-known terms. We often view and understand ʻāina as in land, right? But ʻāina is such a special and important term for Kanaka because it really allows us to understand that relationship that we have to the land, right? We as Kanaka, we think of ourselves as the extension, right? We are born of the land. The land itself is our ancestor, yeah. As we've seen in some videos, that ʻāina is something that sustains us, right? It's something that we identify with, that we identify through, we speak through ʻāina, right? The way that we view relationships in terms of intimacy, in terms of the reasons why we do particular things, the reason why we get involved in particular type of work is through ʻāina, right? Sometimes ʻāina, again, as I said, it's the thing that sustains us, yeah. It is viewed as our elder sibling, just as elder siblings are within families. Their kuleana is to take care of the younger siblings. That's what the ʻāina does, yeah. So in turn, as the younger siblings, we also have a kuleana to take care of the older sibling. So ʻāina is, there are many people in Hawaii and around the world doing work in understanding this term ʻāina. So it goes far beyond the constraints of what the translation land offers, yeah. So in thinking about how ʻāina is a part of our identity, right, I would like us to take a look at this phrase. So this phrase says, "Ohea ko ʻāina, ohea ko ʻāina, ohea ko ʻāina," right? And so this is essentially saying, where is your land? Where is your land? So to answer this question, I'll exemplify it with my own. So my answer would be, "O Waimea ko ʻāina." So this photo that you guys can see right here is of Waimea, and my hale is actually it's off the picture, you can't see it, but it's on this side. But so "O Waimea ko ʻāina." O Waimea ko ʻāina. So Waimea is the traditional name of this place, right? And Waimea means red water. However, many people know Waimea as also Kamuela. Kamuela is a transliteration of Samuel. The reason why it's called Kamuela is that the post office is named Kamuela. Right there, you might know that there are actually several Waimea in the archipelago of Hawaii. However, this one for sure is the best Waimea. Yeah. So oftentimes people will say Kamuela, but again, that's not the name of the place. That's the name of the post office, right? And so my words of advice here is we must say the traditional name of that place, right? It's kind of like being called a name that's not your own. Yeah. Again, so when we view the land as not just land, but we view it as ʻāina, right? It's a living, breathing thing. It's our elder sibling. We of course don't want to call our elder sibling by the incorrect name, so we want to call it the correct name. So oftentimes there are these names change and transform. So instead of let's say Vavamalu, we call it Sandy's Beach, right? Instead of, let's say, Kiavaula, we call it Mox, right? So I want you guys to look up what is the traditional, if your place name is not already, if it doesn't go by the traditional name commonly today, what is that traditional name, right? So what is that traditional name of Pearl City? Look that up, right? Look that up. You can, of course, use Google. You can ask around. If you're having a hard time, ask me. Then what I want you to do is I want you to look up the meaning of that place name. So you can do that on vehe vehe, viki viki. So let me show you how. So going to vehe vehe viki viki. So let's type in waimea. So you'll see that there's a bunch of different hits that waimea gets. So what I want you to take note of is this section here where it says Pukui and Albert. This is the book that this term comes from. So I want you to actually scroll down and I want you to look for the one that says Place Names of Hawaii. Place Names of Hawaii is a dictionary of all the different place names around Hawaii. And it was written by Mary Kovena Pukui and others. So they do a really good job with pointing out all the different places and the descriptions. They provide the literal translation here of particular place names. And they also sometimes give some background information, right? So for example, for this waimea, the one on the north shore of Oahu, yeah, so there it gives some little bit information saying here the falls were formerly called Waihe'e. After Captain Cook was killed at Kealakekua, Hawaii on February 14, 1779, his ships called here for water on February 27th. Vancouver landed here in 1793 while drawing water in the stream. 2 of his men were killed by Hawaiians who wanted their weapons. Vancouver ordered that the assassins be killed and 2 men were shot, but it's not certain that they were the murderers. So they give really, really interesting information. Sometimes they give pre-contact information, traditional stories. And so it really to understand your place, to understand where you come from, right? You have to know the background, right? I think many of us don't know what our place name is called, right? What the meaning of that is called. And sometimes it's very funny. Sometimes it's kind of spooky. Sometimes it makes sense, like this one, waimea water, waimea, yeah, reddish water. So go ahead and do this practice, right? So again, first you gotta search your, look up your traditional name. And if it already is the traditional name, again, when I say traditional name, usually the Hawaiian name, right? Pearl City is not the traditional name. Yeah. Lanikai is not a traditional name. Hawaii Kai is not a traditional name. So look up what is that traditional name. Then look up the meaning, looking at place names of Hawaii. All right. So I want you to tell me, Ohea ko ʻāina. Ohea ko ʻāina. All right. I look forward to your responses. Aloha.